Welcome back to the Business Ignite podcast, where we light the fire for business growth and marketing success. Your hosts, Ethan Walker and Samantha Reed, bring you the latest trends, expert insights, and actionable strategies to fuel your business journey. Let's ignite your potential.
All right, so you see that Apple logo, right, with the bite taken out of it. Or how about that Nike swoosh? Instantly, you know what it is, right? Apple, Nike, those guys, they've got branding down pat. And guess what? You're about to get a crash course in making your brand just as unforgettable.
Because, let's be honest, if you're ready to take your business to that next level, you got to have a brand that packs a punch, right? It's that feeling people get, that instant, haha, I know them. And today we're diving deep into this 95 visual article, Conceptualizing Your Company Brand. It's like the treasure map to crafting a brand that truly clicks.
And listen, this isn't just about slapping a fancy logo on something and calling it a day, okay? This article, it goes deep. It's all about the strategy behind a brand that lasts, you know? And one of the things that really jumped out at me was the emphasis on really knowing your audience, which, okay, on the surface sounds kind of obvious, right? Know your customer, everyone says that. But they dig into the how-to here, and they offer some really practical advice.
What I found interesting was how the article points out how easy it is to get caught up in building a brand for yourself, not your actual target audience.
Yeah.
They even talk about, like, running ads just to see who's clicking on them, which kind of seems like doing things backward. You know what I mean?
It totally does. It's like that time I tried to make my dog like a super healthy salad, right? All these fancy veggies and stuff. He just wanted his regular old kibble.
Right.
But I digress. Knowing your audience, it's crucial. But how do we actually put that into practice? You know, the article, they mention crafting these things. They call them buyer personas. And I got to say, it was a bit of an aha moment for me.
Buyer personas. They can be incredibly powerful when you really dive into them. Just imagine you've got this super detailed profile of your ideal customer right there in front of you. You know their age, their interests, what keeps them up at night, even what they dream about. This goes way beyond just basic demographics, though. It's about getting inside their heads, understanding what makes them tick.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how that kind of granular detail, how that could really change my entire approach to, well, everything, marketing especially.
Exactly. And the article even takes it a step further, suggesting we should be checking out our competitors, seeing who they're attracting.
So, like, if I notice my biggest competitor's ad is doing really well with a certain age group, that's a sign I should maybe be paying more attention to that demographic too.
Exactly. You might discover a whole new group of potential customers you hadn't even considered. It's about working smarter, right? Not harder. And why not learn from what's already out there?
This deep dive is already pure gold just for that takeaway. But hold on, folks, because the article doesn't stop there. It also talks about the importance of thinking big, even if you're just starting out. It's like that whole dress for the job you want, not the job you have thing, but for your brand.
It's all about mindset. It's about vision. You know, even if you're just a small local business right now, your branding, it can still reflect your dreams, your big goals for the future.
So instead of just creating some, I don't know, generic logo just to get things going, you could actually incorporate elements that hint at your larger ambitions.
Now you're talking.
Like, let's say my dream is to build a nationally recognized company. One day, right? Could I actually weave in elements, visual cues maybe, that subtly suggest that broader reach?
Exactly. It's all about making smart decisions today that won't hold you back in the future. Your brand, it needs to be able to grow with you.
See, this is why I love these deep dives, always learning something new. Okay, but let's switch gears for a second and talk about something a little more fun. Brand names. And the article doesn't hold back here, even going so far as to call some names awful.
And rightfully so. The name of your brand, that's your first impression. It's like a handshake. It's got to be memorable, relevant to what you offer. And also, just like we were talking about with your overall brand vision, it has to be adaptable. What if you expand, you know?
So maybe avoid calling your company Bob's Burgers if you've got plans for world domination, huh? Although, I got to admit, it does have a certain ring to it.
You're not wrong. A catchy name goes a long way.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's crucial to really put some thought into this. What message are you sending with your name? Will it still resonate if you branch out, offer new products, target a different audience down the road?
It's that long game again, right? Just like with your overall vision.
Absolutely.
Speaking of vision, let's talk about visuals. This is where I always feel a little out of my depth. Colors, fonts, design. It feels like everyone else is speaking some secret language that I missed the memo on.
I hear you. It can definitely feel overwhelming, all the different elements. But honestly, just having even a basic understanding of these visual cues can make you feel a lot more confident. The article does a great job of breaking this down, especially when it talks about color, like the psychology of color.
Yeah.
They use this example of sticking to one main color consistently and how powerful that can be.
It's true. Certain colors just make you feel a certain way, right? Like, I wouldn't expect an energy drink company to have a calming lavender as their main brand color. It'd be kind of weird, you know?
Send mixed signals. Exactly. And it's just one little example when it comes to color psychology. For instance, greens, they're often linked to tranquility, nature, right? Blues, they often signal trust, dependability. Reds, they're bold, exciting, passionate. Understanding those subtle cues, even just a little bit, it can help you make much more informed choices. Choices that really align with your brand's personality.
Makes total sense. I'm already sitting here thinking about the colors I use and what message they might be sending, even unintentionally. But it goes beyond just color, right?
You got it. We're talking logos, fonts, even the way your website is designed. Think about those big iconic brands we were talking about earlier. They've created this whole visual world, and it's instantly recognizable.
It's like they're not even using words, you know? It's all visual, but you just get it. You know who they are, what they're about. It's pretty powerful stuff. And I'm realizing now, even if I don't have, like, a design degree, just being aware of all this can help me make way better choices for my own brand.
100%. And it actually brings us to a really crucial point that this article drives home, and I love that they do this. Your brand, it's so much more than just a logo. It's about values. Values in action.
Ooh, okay, now you've got my attention. Values in action, tell me more.
Okay, so picture this. You've got this company, right? And they're slapping a heart on everything, their packaging, their website, everything. They're saying, we care. But then you look closer, and their actions, totally different story. Maybe their customer service is just the worst, or their supply chain. Shady, unethical practices. The article uses this example of customer loyalty. It's not enough to just say, hey, we value our loyal customers. You actually have to prove it, you know? Your policies, your customer service, every single interaction, it's got to reflect that.
It's like that saying, right? Walk the walk, don't just talk the talk. People can spot a fake from a mile away, especially these days.
No kidding. Authenticity is huge EE. Customers can tell when you're being real with them, when you're actually living your values. When your actions don't match your words, you lose that trust. And honestly, it's worse than having no values at all.
Ouch, yeah. It's like that house built on sand, right? One good storm and whoosh, it's gone. But speaking of foundations, this article brings up another one. Having a strong presence online. They even get into this thing called responsive design, which, okay, I've definitely heard that term thrown around, but I'll be honest, I'm a little fuzzy on what it actually means.
Don't sweat it. You're definitely not the only one. It's one of those things, a lot of people hear it but don't really know what it means, but it's super important, especially these days, with everyone pretty much glued to their phones. It's like the article calls it a mobile-first world, and they're not wrong.
Seriously, I think I spend like 90% of my time online on my phone these days. Is that bad? Am I doing it wrong?
Not at all. It's just the way things are now. And that's where responsive design comes in. It's all about making sure your website, it looks amazing no matter what you're looking at it on.
Yeah.
Phone, tablet, laptop, whatever. Consistent experience across the board. The article really stresses that.
So what you're saying is if my website looks totally awesome on my computer screen, but then I pull it up on my phone and it's all wonky and out of whack, that's a problem.
Ding, ding, ding. You got it. And it's way more than just how it looks, too. It affects things like SEO, how easy it is for people to find your website.
Right.
And it definitely impacts user experience, like how long people stick around. And ultimately, it affects how credible your brand seems. Website that's not responsive, it just screams, hey, I'm stuck in the past.
Yeah.
That's not the message you want to send.
Okay, you've officially freaked me out. Adding review website responsiveness to my to-do list, like right after this. This is one of those things, right? It seems kind of minor, but it can have a huge impact on how people see your brand.
100%.
Yeah.
It's those little details, They all add up to this whole experience, this feeling people get when they interact with your brand. And that takes effort, especially in the online world. First impressions, they happen in like seconds. Milliseconds even.
There's that saying, what is it? Something like, people might forget what you said. They might forget what you did, but they'll never forget how you make them feel. And that's what we're talking about here, right? Creating a feeling, an experience. It's bigger than just buying and selling.
I love that. It's about making a real connection, a human connection.
Right.
That's what makes a brand stick with you. But and this is important, the article does a great job of reminding us that this whole branding thing, it's not a one-time thing, you know? It's a process. It's ongoing.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. Right. And any good marathon runner will tell you it's all about pacing yourself, staying hydrated, making sure you've got the right gear. Okay. Maybe I'm getting a little carried away with the metaphor, but my point is, this is a journey. It's a long game. And I'm curious, what happens when that journey, what happens when it takes an unexpected turn? Like, what about when your brand needs to, evolve?
Yeah. The million-dollar question right there. How do you stay true to who you are at your core, but also keep up with the times? New markets pop up, new people to reach. The world it doesn't stop changing. And there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But it starts with being curious, really listening to your audience, being open to trying new things.
So it's like we were talking about with websites, right? They got to be responsive these days to fit all the different screens and stuff. Maybe our brands, they need to be responsive too, in a way. Adaptable, changing with the times, but without losing that core identity.
Now you're thinking. It's a balancing act for sure. Finding that sweet spot between staying true to yourself and also embracing new possibilities, new ways of doing things. It's a never-ending evolution.
Love that. Building a brand that's not just recognizable, but adaptable, built to last, No pressure, right?
Hey, no pressure at all. Just remember, it's a journey. And like any good adventure, the best way to tackle it is one step at a time.
So to all our listeners out there, I hope you're walking away from this deep dive feeling as inspired as I am. We really dug into some fantastic insights from that 95 visual article, and I hope you're feeling fired up and ready to take your brand to a whole new level. And remember, even small tweaks can make a world of difference. So pick one thing, just one thing you learned today, and actually put it into practice. Experiment, have some fun with it, and see what happens. We love hearing about your branding wins and, hey, even the challenges. So don't be shy about sharing your journey with us. Until next time, happy branding, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Business Ignite podcast, where we fuel your business growth and marketing success. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to rate and review us. It does help others find the show. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Business Ignite Podcast and share this episode with a friend. Keep the fire burning, and remember, your success is just one strategy away. Until next time, stay ignited.